This is Border Crossings. I'm Larry London, and today's show welcomes a band from Fort Worth, Texas, known as the Unlikely Candidates. They refer to their style of music as alternative rock, and they've been on tour for their latest EP, Danger to Myself. Their last EP, Bed of Liars, was streamed over 4.7 million times. Lead singer Kyle Morris formed the Unlikely Candidates in high school, and his voice has been compared to Brandon Urie of Panic at the Disco. Stay tuned for a live performance and conversation with the guys in the Unlikely Candidates. Next on Border Crossings. Hi, this is Border Crossings. My name is Larry London, and in our studios today on tour currently for their new EP, which is Danger to Myself, we've got the Unlikely Candidates. And you guys are likely. You're not unlikely.
Yeah.
You guys are likable, very nice guys, a whole big group. You guys come from Fort Worth, Texas.
That's right.
And so you guys met in high school, I read.
We did. It was me and Cole. Yeah.
And you decided in high school, we're going to do this. We're going to have a band. And
Well, I mean, really, we were just like fans of music, and we grew up in the same town, going to the same shows, and just one night we got like drunk at a high school party and like started playing just some songs as a joke. Like I'd never really sang in front of like anybody before. I was pretty shy, and Cole really wasn't much of a guitar player. And for some reason, while we were playing, like I just remember having this like kind of epiphany, like I think I want to do this for like the rest of my life. It was just like a feeling I'd never had before. And Cole was probably just like, "This is a fun song," but
Pretty much, yeah.
the next day I
Better than
asked
anything
him,
else we were doing.
yeah,
better than the options.
I asked him the next day. I was like, "Hey, do you want to go do this? You want to try this again? Try and write a song?" And then that was like 10 years ago.
Probably the most frequently asked question is, why the Unlikely Candidates? I'm sure you guys get asked that all the time.
That's a fun question because there's a good answer and a really boring one. The boring one is I wrote a list of 200 names and it was the only one that wasn't completely terrible. I think second on the list was Dark Horse, which sounds like a Swedish metal band. Really, I think what came into play with it is like neither of us had been in a band. We'd never written a song. Our parents were very confused why we're spending all of our time on our last year of high school on this band and not doing things for like college or whatever. We were really bad also. Like we had no idea how to write a song.
That'll get you signed.
It was, yeah, we really started from the bottom up at 18. And so, yeah, I guess it's unlikely that we're here, but...
But
here
you
we
are the Unlikely Candidate. So, I read where you had felt that growing up in Fort Worth, there was there was emphasis on folk music and blues music.
Yeah.
So how did you find alternative rock? I mean, how'd you end up in that lane?
I mean, really, like, because there was so much of that, like, there, for any, like, major culture, there has to be an intense little subculture. So, like, ours was, like, that whole, like, Warped Tour scene was really, like, peaking at the time, and me and Cole were going to those shows and like just seeing people from our area like playing bands that were like really good. We're like, whoa, like maybe it's possible. Like it doesn't seem so far away that like some people like us could actually be in a band that like did something and made good music. So really it was that kind of world, and it really wasn't going on. Yeah, like really we were one of two bands in our entire town, really. And
wow,
yeah, we just kind of found that little outlet and used that as the antithesis to the whole high school football Texas thing that was going on.
And so why music? I mean, was it always music? I mean, before your senior year, and you felt you weren't that good at what you were doing? This wasn't the plan.
No, I really honestly don't know how it happened. If that night hadn't happened, like I don't know if I'd be playing music at all. Like,
So what would you be doing then?
I have no idea.
You don't know? Okay.
No.
Well, it's a
No,
good thing you
don't.
found the music then.
Yeah, yeah. Got lucky on that one.
Well, we got the band here, so if you'd introduce yourselves, I'd like to meet all the guys.
Oh, yeah.
I'm Cole. I play guitar.
I'm Jared, and I play bass.
I'm Kyle. I sing.
I'm Brent. I play guitar.
Hey, I'm Kevin. I play drums.
All right. Well, if you guys wouldn't mind doing a song, we'd like to hear now what you guys sound like. Live in our studios. The Unlikely Candidates are here. Check out some live music on Border Crossings.
Here's my confession. I've got a death wish. I'm in the fast lane, addicted to excess, living my best life. I was on top right, sipping the limelight, deer in the headlights. Future used to shine as bright as a diamond. Where did time go? I was so high, it was frightening. No, I messed up, but there's no use in crying. No use in crying. Oh, my dear love, I've been running wild, had a good time, but I can't stop now. Oh, my dear Lord, over my head in a landslide, can you pull me out? Oh, my dear Lord, oh, my dear Lord, oh, my dear Lord, I've been running wild, had a good time, but I can't stop now. Oh, my dear Lord, oh, my dear Lord, I was a good guy, but I was the worst type. Give me an inch, man, I'll take a mile. I'm walking back now, past on the fires, trying to find out. I grabbed the lighter. My future used to shine as bright as a diamond. Where did time go? I was so high, it was frightening. No, I messed up, but there's no use in crying. No use in crying. Oh, my dear Lord, I've been running wild, had a good time, but I can't stop now. Oh, my dear Lord, over my head in a landslide, can you pull me out? Oh, my dear Lord, oh, my dear Lord, oh, my dear Lord, I've been running wild, had a good time, but I can't stop now. Oh, my dear Lord, hey, 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 oh, my dear Lord, hey, hey. Been a tyrant, been a pusher, pushing my disease, breaking bones and taking everything in front of me. Priests and beggars looking up to heaven from their knees. Is anyone listening? Is anyone listening? Is anyone listening? Oh, my dear Lord, I've been running wild, had a good time, but I can't stop now. Oh, my dear Lord, over my head in a landslide, can you pull me out? Oh, my dear Lord, oh, my dear Lord, oh, my dear Lord, I've been running wild, had a good time, but I can't stop now. Oh, my dear Lord, oh, my dear Lord.
Wow. Great. Very powerful voice.
Thank you.
That's the new single from the new EP.
That's it.
That's excellent. Congratulations. I mean, the last EP did well. You had so many millions and millions of streams. So you guys are, you're on track right now.
Thanks, man.
For some big numbers and big awards. And,
I hope so.
oh,
Yeah.
absolutely. And a new contract with Sony. So that's
Yeah, it's good.
outstanding stuff. This is exciting times.
Yeah, we're in a good spot right now. Probably best we've ever been.
So tell me why the name Danger to Myself. What's the story? What's the reason behind that? Because that's kind of a dark title. So I'm
Right.
wondering, there must be a story.
Yeah.
And you can tell me.
I mean, really, like, it just kind of became a mission statement for, like, self-destruction, really. Like, that's what the whole EP is about, is just kind of, like, just all the things that you do that kind of your animal brain forces yourself to do that your rational brain probably wouldn't, but it's this weird compulsion towards danger, kind of walking on the edge to feel more alive, or walking on the edge just because you really don't care. So that kind of became like the whole mission statement for the album.
That's the message of what you're
That's it.
on this
yeah,
particular EP.
basically a human mess in motion. Yeah, that's
Because there's a lot of, unfortunate, dark things going on in show business with people taking their own lives and things like that. So when I read that, Danger to Myself, I thought immediately, oh, is there some element there about that involved? But no, it's much broader.
You don't have to worry.
We're all good.
We'll be okay.
Whew.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it is, to use your platform to talk about important social messages and things, that's...
I mean, it's this last year, it's been really bad for musicians. I just think that whole, everyone likes to laud like the tortured artist or whatever, but that's kind of the truth of it, is that a lot of times it ends up going in that direction, and it's really sad. So it's like, I don't know, seems like some sort of cycle where like they want to build up the tortured artist, and the tortured artist becomes exactly what they thought it was going to be. So.
And you got influence from poetry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I used to love Keats and Shakespeare and
Chinese poetry.
No.
Tao Lin?
Oh, Tao Lin.
Yeah.
Tao Lin is actually he's like I don't even know. It's like an alternative prose writer. It's like part of this like weird Twitter generation. It's Tao Lin is like this weird kind of like psychedelic-y like millennial writer.
Oh.
Yeah. And he does some poetry, but it's really weird. It's like, I had cereal today and thought about the existential crisis, and then I got on my computer and looked up cat videos. That's like, I'm not joking. That's pretty much one of his poems.
Sounds like a Facebook post is what it sounds like.
Basically, it's like weird, random, abstract Twitters. Yeah.
So you guys are on tour right now. And is this an international tour, or is this just a U.S. tour?
It's a full U.S. tour. We're out with a band called Brick and Mortar. We're
East Coast, West Coast.
East Coast to West Coast, and back to Texas. That's pretty much it.
And the shows, I mean, this has got to be a different sound for you guys, because I'm sure you're very electric and there's much more energy. And when you do a real show in a venue,
Definitely a lot more energy.
a
A lot more sweat.
Yeah, it gets very sweaty. So.
I don't think he can get much louder, but he probably can.
No, you can.
Amp it up.
And I read where you broke your foot.
I did. That was terrible. It still hurts.
You just came off crutches. You performed with crutches after you broke your foot.
I actually had a peg leg. There's this thing called the eye walk. Yeah, it's weird. So your knee tucks back into this like kind of like strap device, and there's a peg leg that shoots down. So I was running around with the peg leg, and like I'm pretty animated on stage, and I got really good on the peg. So most people didn't actually know that I had a peg leg until they met me after the show, and they saw that I actually didn't have. I had a metal leg. Yeah.
I thought you were an amputee as well.
Yeah, they were like, "Oh, some guy
no one wants to mention it,
Some guy that was an amputee in the crowd was like, "Man, I thought you were one of us." And I was like, and then he gave me his card. He's like, "Here, take my card just in case anything happens." And I'm like, "Oh man, don't put that on me." That is.
They are the Unlikely Candidates, and the new music is out right now. It's the second EP. So have you just released EPs? Has that kind of been what you've done so far? 2 EPs?
Yeah.
Three EPs.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. And so is there a plan for a full studio album?
There's always a plan.
There's always
a
for it,
plan.
yeah. It's always a work towards it, and hopefully we're hoping by the end of the year we'll have a whole body of work together, be able to release a full-length album.
I think we've said that like 3 years now.
Yeah.
5.
5 years. Now, is the writing thing, is that a collaboration, or is there one person who does the writing for the band, most of the writing, or is it everybody contributes in one way or another?
I think it's changed every bit of the way. Yeah. Like there's been some things we've written together. Then the first EP was me and Cole. The second EP was me and Brent. The third EP was a little bit of like, me and Brent, but then also like me writing with a bunch of producers like everywhere. And then on this next album or EP, hopefully album, like we're all gonna kind of write together more, like really take it as the organic band process.
And you mentioned deluxe. There's a deluxe version of Danger to Myself. So what's it comes with sesame seeds or extra fries, or what makes it deluxe?
Basically.
It's pretty much we released the Danger to Myself EP, and it didn't have the track "Oh My Dear Lord" on it, so we released "Oh My Dear Lord" after we released Danger to Myself, the EP, and it was a hit. So we kind of were like, we need to go back and throw this on and release it as a deluxe. So.
That's
Pretty
great.
much how it all worked out.
Excellent. And people can get it online, I'm sure, Amazon and iTunes, Spotify, everywhere. How about your website? If people want to go, is it available? Is there a link to get the
There's links
CD?
on our website. Yeah, you can just check it out right on there.
Okay. What is the website?
theunlikelycandidates.com.
Easy enough. All right, would you guys do another song for us?
Yeah.
Like to hear some more music. What's this called?
Love Could Start a War.
Love Can Start a War.
All right.
You know I've gotta love you. Our name is written in the streets. You are a force of nature. The fire's moving through your feet. Oh, your love could start a war. Your love is what I'm fighting for. I would die for this revelation. Oh, your love could start a your love could start a war. The dawn will break before you. Under your thumb, I'm on my knees.
Got me on my knees.
You play a game of pressure. You're getting stronger while I sleep.
All I see.
Burning up the sky or a constellation. Swear that I could die in this revelation. Oh, your love could start a war. Your love is what I'm fighting for. I would die for this revelation. Oh, your love could start a die for this revelation. Oh, your love could start a war. Your love could start a war. Your love could start a war. It's what I'm fighting for. Ooh. Oh, your love could start a war.
Unlikely Candidates, live on the Voice of America, and 10 years together. This is your 10th anniversary now. 3 EPs, and so what's next on the agenda for you guys? What is there a CD that you have a concept idea, or is there something you haven't done you want to do? What's in? I know that you're working this album, but what's the plan next? Because songwriters are always create new stuff and have great ideas. Give us an insight.
Right now, we're just putting together singles, and I think once we get home, we'll try and put together like a new sound. I guess we're gonna try and figure that out.
Mm-hmm. We all live together in the same house in Fort Worth, and so we have a little studio set up, and also aside from that, also a rehearsal space, so we could get into the rehearsal space, jam out some songs, see what we could do, and then bring it into the studio and kind of start recording.
Mm-hmm. And working with a major label, they give you a lot of control over your music. Do you get to, really say, well, this is going to be what we sound, or no?
As long as they have something that they can sell, it
right.
doesn't really matter.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we can do whatever we want. I don't think I've ever had anyone tell me like, like you can't write that.
Yeah.
It's just like they're like, we won't put that out. You know?
Write it, but we won't promote it.
Yeah.
But that's interesting, and because I always wanted to know a band that starts off on a smaller indie label and then gets signed to a big label. What's the change? What's the biggest adjustment you have to make? Or have you guys always been with a major? You never had to deal with a smaller
always
label.
been with a major,
Okay.
kind of. I mean, I guess, yeah. I mean, Another Century was kind of like an indie under a major, but really, it's like the majors. It's like there's a lot more legal. There's a lot more paperwork. Everything moves a lot slower, but they also have more power. I guess, like in an indie label, it's just the opposite. Like there's a lot less red tape, but they have a lot less power.
Right. And things are expensive. Music videos are very expensive.
Everything is expensive. Yeah. for
Have you
us.
gotten a lot of music videos?
We have. We've never had a good music video, I think, until maybe this last one. Like, all of them just seemed to go, like, the first one went, like, way over on time, and we went very ambitious. Slow motion camera, green screen, wire crew. Yeah.
Hoisting
and
us up, yeah.
we
You
were,
blew the
yeah.
whole budget.
We were, yeah, and we didn't get anything done. Like, they had to use the behind the scenes video as the actual video because they couldn't pull it off in time. So we're just floating around on these wires.
See the wires.
And the green screen.
Well, that's cool. I'm going to have to check that out.
Yeah.
That's fun.
Yeah.
So who have been your influences? Did I read correctly? You like the old school stuff? You like Oasis
do.
and Led Zeppelin? Is
Yeah.
that?
Beatles, Zeppelin, Doors.
So how does the young guys find that kind of music? I mean, growing up,
Yeah, I mean, it's still on the radio, you know?
Yeah,
You tune
yeah.
in and you hear it, and you're like, it still does the same thing it did back then. You hear it,
That's
and you
bizarre.
show a kid, too, and they're like, wow, I like
College.
this. What is this?
Post college, the things that you get into in college, I think, help enhance those things for your mind.
Those things you get into?
Wink.
wink, wink. Do you remember where you were? I like to ask this question. When you heard your song on a radio for the first time? That's one of those significant moments in anybody's career and life to actually hear themselves. It's like validation, and you can go to your parents and say, "Ha ha, listen to this." You know, you wondered what I was doing.
I think it was in
Yeah, I was in California. I wasn't in the band yet, but I knew these guys, and they. I heard the song on K-Rock in California, and I called Cole. I'm like, "Hey man, your song's on the radio. What are you doing?" He's like, "I'm working at Jimmy John's." I'm like, "You should quit."
That's it. You don't need Jimmy John's anymore.
Yeah,
You're on
and
K-Rock.
I think he went back that day and quit. So.
Yeah, take it off the record contract there and quit.
How about you? Where were you in? Do you remember? You had to ask your bandmate. Where was I?
I don't
No?
remember. It should
Not
be
that
like a really
significant? Whoa.
important
Probably
time.
on tour driving down the highway.
Yeah.
Yeah, Florida. I was saying like Florida, that first tour date, like 6 years ago, 5 years
Yeah.
ago. I think when we like drove into Florida, we heard it on that radio station we were playing for.
Yeah, in between the Jimmy Buffett songs, I think. Because that's
Well-
the thing that I do every time I go to Florida. I'm like,
You put Jimmy Buffett on, huh? Well, it's surreal. There you are. Your last EP did so well and millions of streams, and now again with another major label and a new EP. So you guys are doing very well, and this is an exciting time for you guys. And so we're happy to have you in our studios. The Unlikely Candidates. Can you do another tune for us?
Yeah.
What's this one called?
This one's Follow My Feet.
Follow My Feet.
Yes.
All right.
There's a fork in the road in front of me, at the crossroads of identity. The devil is standing to the left. Each tells you the way they both lead to death. And the high road steady and steep, and the low road's easy and deep. Yes, so follow, follow, follow my feet. Follow, follow, follow my feet. I have a friend who lies and steals and cheats, always taking more than he could eat. He says to get what I want, I would probably kill. If I don't take it, somebody else will. And the high road steady and steep, and the low road's easy and deep. Yes, so follow, follow, follow my feet. Follow, follow, follow my feet. There behind the tree. I've a friend who loves humanity, braves bullets in war-torn countries. He traded a life of wealth to help the poor and ill. He says if I don't do it, nobody will. I'm the high road stadium steep, I'm the low road easy and deep. Yes, I'll follow, follow, follow my feet. Follow, follow, follow my feet. I don't know where, I don't know where my path will lead, but I'll follow my feet and God believe who keep me on the ground. I'll keep walking to the sound. Follow, follow, follow my feet. Follow, follow, follow your feet.
Yeah. Unlikely Candidates. I like it. Sounding great. So coming from Texas, I mean, what's been the influence for you there? What from Texas have you brought into your music? How has music changed for you guys being from the Dallas-Fort Worth area?
I think probably an emphasis on songwriting for sure. Like me and Cole, I went down to Texas A&M and went to school there for 2 years, and Cole came too. Like there was no place for our type of music there at all. Like it's just like a boot scooting town. Like so we, you know, just by osmosis we started listening to country music, and I hated country music. I hated it. But I found Texas country, and I was like, oh, this has actually got some really good stories in it. And then also just like growing up, like my family's from Georgia, so there's bluegrass, like there's gospel around us. Like on that new Oh My Dear Lord track, like I kind of tried to think like what an alt-rock gospel sound would sound like, and that's kind of what I use for the verses and stuff like that. So yeah, all that.
Well, your voice, when some of the songs, some of the sounds sound like Brandon Urie from Panic at the Disco.
Yeah,
I
get
heard
that
Yeah.
sometimes.
See, that's what I was hearing, and I heard, you sound great. I mean, really like the sound. You guys all sound great. I know, you're rocking with a guitar normally, and then here you have to just sit here. And, but thank you guys for coming in.
Thanks,
and again, what's your website so that people around the world can check you out?
Unlikelycandidates.com. I mean, give it a little Google search. You'll find all kinds of things about us.
And hopefully you guys will do a lot of international stuff, touring,
that would be
and
awesome.
so the worldwide audience can come check you out. Thank you guys.
Thanks, man.
The Unlikely Candidates, our guest today here on Border Crossings. Thanks for watching.